Hey, my name's Paul, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to scrape and enrich local business leads to find the CEOs and decision makers of these businesses, and then outreach to them on autopilot using AI. Let's get right into it. All right, before we get too into this, I just want to map out what we're going to do to start and then our process to actually get to our end result, which I believe for this system is just going to be leads inside of our Instantly campaign, which is the software I use for all of my outreach. Currently, I think it's a bit easier than Smartly to just set up and get campaigns going. And yeah, just kind of map that out before we get too far into this. It's always good practice to do. So what we're going to do, firstly, is we're going to scrape Google Maps, okay, for businesses. And the thing about this is we're scraping for businesses, not necessarily the owners slash CEOs or CTOs of these businesses. So we don't want to just, cold call the customer support or the help desk at that business. We want to talk to the decision maker or the owner of the business. So what we're going to do next is enrich this enrich lead list to find decision makers and emails. So the way we're going to contact him is via an outreach campaign, which I'm going to also help you set up. It's really easy inside of Instantly. So we're going to scrape for the businesses. We're then going to find the owners, and then we're going to find their emails. Then we will create a personalized email opener for each lead and a structured email with a clear structured, how am I spelling that wrong? Got it right the first try. Structured email with a clear CTA. So this can be book a call, schedule a free trial, depends on what we're selling them. And then we are going to add leads to Instantly outreach campaign. So Instantly is just going to allow us to actually send out emails to all these leads from our own domains / emails. So to get right into it, let's head on over to Google Maps firstly. So Google Maps. So I think what we're going to do is, we want to target local businesses. So these are people that aren't likely to be on something like LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So people like realtors, like local realtors or, pressure washing or things like that are going to be in your local area. So let's just try it. Let's do realtors, Nashville. So let's see what comes up. So we have Mark Spain real estate, the Ashton real estate, Short real estate, Mikasa real estate. When Steven sells, it's sold. That's good to know. Oak Street Group. Okay, so yeah, we're going to have a bunch of these local business realtors that we can actually reach out to via cold email. So, but we need a way to actually export this list before we even find the decision makers. And I think for that, what we're going to do is we're going to use a platform called Apify. Now, if you haven't watched any of my videos, then you won't know what Apify is more than likely. But if you have, you'll know Apify is a marketplace full of web scrapers that are designed to pull data from a whole bunch of different websites. So, sorry that my mic was off. Some of these can be TikTok. A lot of them, you have YouTube, you have Google Maps. One will actually use Instagram, Amazon. There's just so much we can do with this and just extract more than enough data to work with. A lot of the time, more data than what is actually on the website we are scraping, which is kind of funny. So I'm going to go ahead and go to console. And I'm going to head on up to store. And I'm going to search for Google Maps. Google Maps. Oh, maybe we do get an email extractor. Let's see what this holds. Extract Google Maps contact details. Scrape websites of Google Maps places for contact details and get email addresses, websites, social media links. Okay, so I'm curious what we get back if we actually try the same search in here. So before we try and integrate it with the app, the API for Apify, we're just going to try it directly inside of here. Okay, so we have the search term and then a location. Can we do direct URL? We can. Don't combine this section. Okay, let's try this. Let's actually copy this Google Maps URL. Boom. Add. Paste this in. And let's try saving this. Can I change how many we get? Let's see. Okay, maybe 5. Save and start. Hopefully there's not a minimum limit on how much we have to do. If we actually get back decision makers' emails, that would be sick. But if it's just like info at company name, then that's not useful at all. So this is going to take a second. Okay. So we got one back. Email. TJ. Okay. What is this? TJ Ohonaman? Or I don't even know. Oh, hey, I have no idea how to say that actually. Michelle Strong, realtor at gmail.com. Home group. No emails, no emails, no emails. Okay, so I don't think this is going to be very efficient. It is a good scraper though. This is not bad. Not pricey either. So I think we're going to use a combination of 2 things and just one actor. I'm going to see about this Google Maps extractor. I do want us to not have to use any cookies or anything. To extract contact details from Google Maps. Contact info. Okay, let's try this one. You do have to do this sort of thing in practice because, yeah, it's going to be what happens when you do this type of thing. So $6 per 1,000 results. This looks very similar to the one we just tried. Paste this in. We'll do 5 again. Save and start. Let's open up this one. I think it's going to be one of these 2 that we have open here. And then we'll actually enrich it via Make in another platform. So I'm going to go ahead and open up Make, just because this will take another few minutes to scrape it. I'm going to go ahead and log in with my Gmail. I'll select my organization. And then I'm going to go ahead and create a new scenario. And let's check the out. So, do we get emails? We get phone category URL. Okay, so I think we may just use this. And then we should have... Do we have a business name in here? Category name, title. We do have this. Title. Okay. So we may be able to do this now. So what I'm going to do is we're going to use a platform called Any Email Finder. So essentially what Any Email Finder lets us do is if we use the decision maker lookup module, which I believe is built directly in, it's going to let us just plug in a domain and then say, what type of decision maker we want, which is going to be like the CEOs and the people higher up so that they can actually, be sold to by us. And then it's going to pull back your emails if it finds a valid email, and then we can proceed with the rest of the process. So what we're going to do first is have an Apify module, and it's going to be get dataset items. Now, obviously, I'll just select my account here. Yeah, okay. Obviously, if you were, running this synchronously or something, the process would be a bit different. But for now, I'm just going to do this manually. So we're going to go to storage and copy this dataset ID, bring it back in, paste it in here, click on save, run this. We're going to get back some data. So we have title, we have website, we have location. We get a whole bunch more info than we do actually on the same page. We get title, website. Do we have a website for this one? Let's see. It's under country code. Okay, so I think what we're going to need to do is on some of these, have a filter where we only look up ones that have a domain because they're not going to have an email registered out of that if not. So I'm going to name this give results. And then I'm going to come over to the platform we're going to use, which is called an email finder. Like I said, we're going to open it up. And they actually give you 250 API calls. So technically, you could do this completely for free. Let me see, by decision maker. So you can have company.com and then CEO, blah, 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 blah. So that's exactly what we're going to do. They give you 250 API calls for free. So just sign up and you can get 250 of these emails for free. So I'm going to go to app, and then you would come over here to API, and then you'll just want to copy your API key. I don't want to do that because, it'll show me API key, and I have to rotate this thing so much, it's ridiculous. So what I'm going to do is just search for an email finder module. And the module we're going to use is search for a decision maker's email. And we're going to search by domain, and then we're going to plug in this website. The category is going to be CEO owner, and then we're going to use only fully verified emails. Now, if you wanted to, you could select use all found emails, and then you could verify it with something like never bounce, mails.so, lots of things like that. And it would work just fine. But for this, it's much simpler to just use one that has a 97% delivery rate. And then if you want to, you can re-verify it with another platform. So I'm going to set this to 2 to make sure we have one that has a website. Condition, I'm going to have this website be equal to exists. So I'm going to say domain exists equals true. And then if you look here, the reason I did that, and that's just a bit of make.com logic, is you see here under country code, when we have a website, this little variable called website exists. But if I go to the second one under country code, it's actually not there. So it's going to exclude those that don't have a website. So I'm going to go ahead, run this once. We should get back 2 items. The second one actually shouldn't run. Okay, so you can see first one passed through because there was a website, and the second one did not have a website, so it didn't. Go ahead and check it. So let's see. We get back an email. We search by this domain. The result, email verified, is true. We get a person full name. We get a person job title. We get their personal LinkedIn, which we are going to use. And then we get an email. So this is super sick. This is after we scrape the LinkedIn and do a bit more enrichment and personalization, then we're big chilling. We can make some killer cold email. So we've successfully found a way to enrich and scrape. What I want to do next is actually find a way to scrape this LinkedIn profile URL, because that'll return us data like the summary, the headline, lots of different stuff we can use for personalization. So what I'm going to do is come back into Apify, and then I'm going to search for LinkedIn, some sort of LinkedIn profile scraper. So let me try a LinkedIn profile scraper. Whenever I see no cookies, it just looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and select this one. $10 for 1,000 results. For our purposes, that's perfectly fine. I'm going to exit this out. And then I believe we should be able to run this synchronously, especially if we're doing it one by one, like person by person. So I'm going to come over here to JSON. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to create a task. Yep. Yeah, okay, so continue. Actors. This should be in here now. Or save tasks. Yeah, it's here now. Okay, so cool. I'm going to come back into here. I'm going to go to Apify. And then it's going to be run an actor module. So we're getting the results from the Google Maps scraper. And then we're going to run another one if there's an email found. So let's go ahead and set this up. If success equals true. So I'm just going to show you real quick. If you look at this little success variable, it says true when we have a verified email. So we only want those to go through. So I'm going to plug this in, and then I'm going to just type true. Save. And then this, we're actually going to be able to, well, actually I'm going to have another one, add and rule. And it's going to be this person LinkedIn URL. I believe is not equal to an empty string, because I think this variable will still pull up. So for this next actor, let me see, LinkedIn. Let's see. Is this the same one, or is this one I've used before? Mass LinkedIn. Okay, it's this one. So mass LinkedIn profile scraper. For the input JSON, I'm going to do Control-Shift-V so it's formatted. And then I'm going to plug in our profile URL. So I'm going to backspace this. Sorry, I'm scratching my nose. I got crazy allergies right now. So we have profile URLs. I'm just going to plug this in between the quotes. And I'm going to click on run synchronously, because this should only take like 30 seconds or so to actually just boot up the actor scrape, and then we should be good. So I'm going to click on save. Okay, so after we've done that, I want to see if it's going to work in the end. So we're going to get back to profiles. Only one should pass through. That one should have a profile URL, and then we're going to try scraping it and see what we get back. actually, we need to run synchronously, and then to actually get our data back, I'm going to do another get dataset items. And then the dataset item ID is going to be this default dataset item ID. I'm going to click on save. I'm going to make sure I have the same accounts for this. I'm going to rename this. I'm going to say run LinkedIn profile scraper. Okay. I'm going to say find decision maker email. Cool. So let's try running this. So it's going to run synchronously. I don't usually do this, but if I come over to actors, it might be done already. Actors. Okay. I don't usually do that because if you're running it in mass and you have like 100 of them, it's going to be a lot longer than 5 minutes. But if you run this one at a time, you'll be fine because it only took like 10 seconds there. So then we get dataset items. We have first name, last name, full name. We have the headline. We have the profile pic as well. So technically, we could feed this into image. Wow, that is really high quality. We could feed this into a GPT vision analyzer and then give them a compliment about their LinkedIn on the email, which is kind of crazy. So let's see what kind of data we want to use here. Highlights, empty. Dang, bro, are you a real person? We have educations. We have the about. I'm curious if we get any sort of. Well, we have publications, skills. Nothing there. Do we get the about? Okay, well, we get that. So what we may be able to do is, even if this doesn't go too well, like we don't get a bunch back, what we can still do is run a Perplexity module to fully research this dude. So let's do Perplexity. It's going to be create a chat completion. If you haven't set this up before, I've definitely showed how to set it up. I'm going to add a message. The content is going to be first name, space, last name, if I can find it, space, I'm going to say the space. Let's find job title. I think it might be down here. Person job title. And then I'm going to say space. This logic is just good to get make.com. Space at space. And then we'll just feed in the company name from down here. Let's see. Where's it? Good. Here we go. Yeah, title. Okay, so this is good to go. We're saying first name, last name, so the person, and then we're saying the CEO or the CTO or whatever at the company name, essentially. I'm going to change this role to user. I'm going to click on save. I'm going to rename this, and I'm going to say deep-research lead. Let me backspace one of these days. Okay, so right now, we're getting back our info from the Google Maps scrape. We're finding an email. If we get a valid email, then we're going to scrape their profile URL, get that info back. Then we're going to deep research them. And then combined with all of that, I'm going to have an OpenAI module. It's going to be create a completion. And then we're going to create a customized email icebreaker. Now we can use GPT-4o system for this. So I'm going to add a message. I'm going to say system. I'm going to say you are an expert email or cold email copywriting assistant, just so it has some context. I'm going to add a message. I'm going to call this user. So this is our system prompt, so it can self-identify, and then I'm going to give it an actual prompt. I'm going to say, you will be given a deep research from Perplexity AI on a decision maker at a company. Your job is to craft a one-line personalized icebreaker that we can use to send to the individual. The icebreaker should attempt to relate with a achievement, or, well, let's think. The icebreaker should attempt to relate with the person, should either compliment them in a casual way or express interest in achievement. Did I spell that right? Yeah, I did. Okay, cool. I'm terrible at spelling. Interest in an achievement. So, maintain a friendly tone of voice, like you are chatting with a friend at the bar. Now, I don't go to the bar, but this does give it a lot more context. I'll put only the icebreaker as your response. Do not include any other comments or insight. So then what we're going to feed it in is this first name. So I'm just gonna type this out for us. I'm gonna say first name, colon, feed in first name. I'm going to say last name. I'm going to say headline, company name, and then I'm going to scroll down here to this title, and then we'll just feed it in the email. The more context you can give it, the better. So I'm going to feed it in the email, and then we're going to feed it in this deep research. So this is more than enough for it. So message, content, we'll feed this in. So this should be good to go. Let's test this end to end real quick. Run once. Okay, so the result we get back is, hey, Alan, your journey from leading Beezer through its IPO days to steering it as a top 10 U.S. home builder is as impressive as it gets. Cheers to navigating those challenging market waves. So I'm going to tell it to tone down the voice a little bit so that it doesn't get like overexcited, because we really don't want that. I'm going to say, do not be overexcited, or have to use exclamation points. It should be short and to the point. Okay, that should be a lot better. Let's save it. So honestly, the last thing we need to do here is, now that we've created a personalized email opener for each lead and a structured email with a clear CTA. So what we need to do after that is, actually, we can do this inside of Instantly. So let's go over to Instantly. So first, I'm going to rename this. I'm going to say create icebreaker. And then we're going to come over to Instantly. And if you don't know what this is, it's just an outreach platform I use to run all of my sales systems. So what we're going to do is go ahead and log in. Boom. And then I'm going to come down to campaigns. I'm going to add a new campaign. I'm going to call this Google Maps free leads. I might click on continue. And now what we can actually do is come over to sequences. And can we type in variables yet? Let's see. We may have to insert variables. Yeah, first thing we're going to have to do is actually add a make.com module. So I'm going to search for Instantly. And it's going to be add a lead to a campaign. And it's going to have my account selected. I'm going to select that campaign, and then the lead email. We're going to scroll down to an email finder, select the email, and then for first name, I am going to feed in first name, and then last name for company name. I'm going to scroll all the way down to this title, and then you see this personalization field. I'm going to scroll up to the OpenAI output and actually select this, or sorry, down here, plug that in. So this should be good to go. I'm going to run this once and see if we get our variables in, and then we'll be able to access them inside of our sequence. Okay, so the new lead is in here. We have this personalization. Let's see. Yeah, this is good. So I'm going to come over to sequences, and now I can access our variables inside here. So I'm going to just, for this, say, can we not insert variables? Let's try this. First name, last name, dash. Now that's terrible subject line. I'm just not going to go crazy on this email copy. And then we're going to feed in our personalization here. Whoops. Control D. Oh, just backspace all this. Right here is where we want to put in our personalization. Nope, it's still going up the top. It's annoying. So double brackets, personalization. And then I'm going to say, I believe I can help you secure 10 new clients in the next 3 weeks. We recently helped a realtor add 20K in just 2 months of working with us. We can, if this sounds good to you, then let's hop. Then we can hop on a quick chat so I can learn more about, let's see, do we get company name? About company name. Cool. And then I'm going to say cheers, comma, Paul. So we have a structured CTA, hop on a quick chat so I can learn more about company name. That way it doesn't sound like we're selling them something. I'm going to go ahead and click on save. And then if we click on preview, chatting with a titan in the home building world, especially someone whose journey kicked off with advising Beazer Homes on its IPO, is like getting insights straight from the source. Always admired how you blend strategic growth with operational finesse. And then we have, the rest of our copy. So this is good to go. I'm going to close this. And if you think about it, we are actually completely good to go. So what you do is just set this limit to like 50 or so, click on save, and then, however many you want to get back. And then you just let this run until all your leads are in your new campaign. Hey, if you enjoyed the video today, please make sure to drop me a like and subscribe. I just launched my brand new school community where we're going to teach you how to sell these sales systems to business owners. And if you are a business owner and you want a system like this built in, just click the link down in the description and book in a call with us, and we'll see if we can help you out. Besides that, everyone have a great day and peace out.